Okay, so this week I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole reading about Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, like from Vogue to like Elle, and I forgot a little bit how impactful she really is when you talk about just people curating their personal style and how all of that I thought maybe would tie into what it's like being a reseller and just like a thrifter in general. But okay, so the thing about her, from what I gathered, is that she didn't chase trends. She didn't dress loudly, and still somehow everybody just like loved and coveted her style even to this day. I think it's probably been about 25 years from what the article said since she passed. And I will say that I do think that it's kind of awesome how her style still feels so relevant even in 2026. And so I will say that the article that Vogue has on her really focuses on her style, and the best way to describe that is intentional simplicity. Like, everything she wore looked very effortless, but it definitely wasn't something that was chosen at random. Like, very clean lines, neutral colors, really good tailoring, like nothing extra. And at a time like in the 90s when everything could very much so go into like the neons and the very like avant-garde piece, she was very much so doing her own thing. And she was just, it was like she was just like a calm, like a very visually calm look. And basically that's what it seems like I think everyone is trying to do, especially now in this crazy world that we live in and during these crazy times, is I think people just want that like very aesthetic, quiet luxury look, and that's very much so her. And then when I go to like Elle, they go a little bit deeper with her, like in a more human way, honestly. And they talk about how she was so private and how she never really seemed comfortable with all the attention she was getting. And I think that's part of what made her also so very interesting, is that she wasn't performing for cameras. I think that there's a lot of people nowadays in like the influencer economy and just celebrities in general, is that like everything is like very curated and everything is all about like having an image. And she wasn't curating anything, like she just had her own taste. And basically, like with both of these articles, they kind of circle around like the same idea, is that she wasn't trying to be somebody. She was just being her. She just was. And this is where I start to think about like, how does this impact me as a reseller and someone who's an avid thrifter? Is that if you really look at her outfits, you could recreate so many of them secondhand. Like a structured black coat, a simple slip dress, straight leg trousers, a white button down that fits really well. And it's not really about like the label per se, it's more of like the shape the fabric content and how those things can fall on your body. So I think that's a really beautiful thing about, like, one, being a thrifter, but also being someone who is a reseller, is that, like, for us and for like people who are not chasing what's new, is that you're looking for pieces that already exist, that already have that like timeless feel. Like, I think Carolyn's whole wardrobe could honestly really live in a good thrift store. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know what to look for. And I think that that is what makes her also such like a good reference point for like style and how to center things around like what you like and what is quality. And she reminds you that like style isn't about having the newest, hottest thing out there. It's really about like choosing for yourself and choosing quality and choosing something that you won't get tired of because it speaks to who you are as a person. So yeah, reading those articles does make me realize that like if you want effortless and put together looks, then you don't need to buy brand new. If you just have like a good solid vision and you are patient and maybe you really love thrifting, like that's all it takes. And then as like someone who resells, is I want to look for those things that are good solid quality pieces that someone feels like they have to have. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tina and I go by Fit for Flair, and I sell on platforms such as eBay, Poshmark, kind of, and also I just started selling on Depop. So I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff that I bought because some of them I'm actually really excited about. I'm gonna pop up some of the comps or something close to it if I can't find the exact comp on the screen. That way you can see it. It might be over here somewhere like that. So if you're interested in that and you sell online or you just like looking at thrift hauls, this one is for you. So today I'm going to talk about when I went to the bins. The last time I went, I actually spent $50.73. One of the items that I purchased, I'm not going to show because it's actually like really big, ended up with over 20 pounds. For the other things were outside of that, and it was 28.14 pounds, and I paid $41.93 for those. And for the huge thing that I'm not going to show, that actually came out to almost 6 pounds. It was 5.99 pounds. So it actually came out to like $5.93. And it's just this like really big poofy, I couldn't even show this on screen if I wanted to, but it's this really big and poofy like down-filled comforter, which I personally will sell things like that and have in the past, and I've had really good success with it. So I don't mind selling those things, especially if I know that it's going to sell for like that higher price point that I would typically go for. So outside of that, I'm going to talk about the other things that I have here, and yeah, let's just get right on through them. So this is something that I'm planning on selling myself. It is made by the brand Boston Proper. Hopefully you can see that. It is a size extra large, and it is these wide leg like trouser pants with this very pretty tropical print. I just thought it was so freaking cute, and I kind of think that this is probably a newer style, but it's possible that it isn't. I haven't seen this tag before for Boston Proper, but I will say that like I was lowering the hem to these because I noticed they were hemmed after I bought them, and I noticed that like they have all this like heel drag on here now, and so like I'm wondering if I should have just left it the way that it was when it was like hemmed. So that very well may be something I end up doing, or maybe I'll just disclose it and let someone go ahead and they can rehem it themselves. Either way, I'm not sure, but I did think this was a really good find. It was in great condition, besides the fact that it does have that issue at the bottom, but who knows, we'll see. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. Alright, next up, and this is something I usually don't buy because I'm not really great with quilts, but this quilt is huge, so it has to be either a queen or possibly even like a king, something like that. But it looked like it was handmade to me, and it has this really beautiful pattern on it, which when I was looking it up, it looked like it could have been possibly a like a Star of Texas, or just like a floral sort of pattern here, because this looks like a flower. So I'm guessing it's a combination of things, but it definitely looked like it was handmade. I could tell by the stitching on here, just because of how the stitching looks. That's the only thing that I can think of, is that like as much as I believe that this person who made this is probably someone who like is fairly good at sewing, so don't get me wrong there, but it definitely looks like some of the stitches aren't exactly like uniform, if that makes sense. So yeah, but I did buy this knowing that it had some flaws, like this here, where it looks like it came apart at the seams, and then it also has this here. I know that a lot of people like to use these kinds of things to make like jackets and stuff, so I'm not quite sure what's going to end up happening with this, but I'm just going to list it as is and let that person decide. This is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but I have sold like comforters or like, you know, higher end sort of like linens and stuff like that, so I'm not as worried as I could be. I just need to take measurements and then disclose the flaws that are there, and then we'll see how it performs. But this is going to be new for me for sure. All right, next up, I have this. I thought these were so cute. These are just a pair of like flare pants. The brand isn't really anything that's super special. But I do think that this lace that was here and like the flare leg, which is definitely giving me whimsy goth, and it does have like a short liner in here. I just thought this was so cute, and actually comps for this, for like brands that aren't super like notable or anything, they're actually going for pretty good money. So I feel confident that I will be able to sell this. Maybe not exactly for that price point that I typically want to go for, which is like $25, but I'm okay with that because I would love to sell this personally. That I will sell something knowing that if it doesn't meet the price point I typically would go for, as long as it's something that like I don't mind selling and that I want to sell. So yeah, that I'm looking forward to. This brand is a brand that I had not heard of, and it is a cotton linen short. It is a size medium, but this brand actually is pretty good, surprisingly. I hope you guys can see that. But yeah, these are, I would say, like a high-waisted cotton linen short, and they look like they're in pretty good condition. So I'm excited to see how these perform, but it does look like the comps are pretty good on this, so I'm happy with that. And then this one, this isn't something I typically sell either, but it is clothing, so yeah, with that. But these are these vintage, I would say like 1970s maybe, pair of boys pants. I think the fabric is, I'm not quite sure, but it kind of feels like almost like a seersucker fabric, that like it's got that, like you can see here, like, but it has sort of like that puckering sort of going on or whatever. But this is just the brand. I had never even seen this before, but I did see the comps. They were actually going for around like $20, I think. But I am looking super forward to selling these also, because I just thought these were so freaking cute. And they also are like bell bottoms. So I just love selling things that are like fashion history kind of. I just think it's so fun, honestly, that anybody would, one, that anyone ever wore this, but then also two, that anybody would want to purchase this, because I do feel like there's so much history in clothing, you know. All right, so next up I got this. This is actually a two-piece item. It's just by Joseph Ripkoff. He does have some good stuff, and I know he's like, you know, not as popular as maybe he used to be, but I'm okay with that. And the size is actually pretty good. This is a size 14, but it's this like viscose blend. It feels as if it was supposed to be, almost as if it was supposed to be like a suede, but it's not. It's very lightweight. It also does come with this top that goes on it, like a bolero kind of a situation. And I'm gonna like button this because I just felt like this was so creative. And it just screamed like fashion house girly to me. Like, this girl, whoever she is, she definitely has like an eye for fashion. She definitely knows what she likes, and maybe not everybody likes what she likes, but she doesn't care. And I think that that is what drew me to it the most. And these are actually connected, so like, oh my gosh, I wish, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say that this would be like a skirt vest or like a dress vest kind of thing. It was like, it's pretty short, so probably not, but on the short girlies it's possible. And I just thought this was so good, I just could not leave it. And I think brown also is a color that, like, last season brown was like a big deal, and I feel like it's probably going to carry over into next season in the fall. So I'm going to see how long it takes for this one to sell, but I do think that it would probably be kind of good. So okay, and then this one, again, I guess I'm just buying like unusual stuff, like things that I normally wouldn't go out of my way to buy, but for whatever reason today was just one of those days. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you got to diversify and you got to think outside the box sometimes. So this one is, what is it, Olivianne. It's a pretty girl's name, but Olivianne, or maybe even a boy. But anyways, I thought this was so church vibes. It's giving grandma a little, and I'm okay with that because these suits actually do sell for fairly good money. The buttons here are just sort of like this sort of rhinestone sort of situation, and it does come with the matching skirt, which I'm also low-key, this is the only reason that I did this and I got both of these pieces, because I know there's someone out here who just loves this like sort of textured metallic, like giving old school church woman kind of vibes, and or maybe just camp kitschy sort of, you know. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. I did check comps already, so I'm pretty happy with what I ended up seeing. Similar things in this size are actually going to sell for fairly good money as well, so I'm looking forward to this, and I can't wait to report back to you and let you know how it does. Alright, so next I have this. It's not an obvious sort of purchase for some people, but for me it was. And this is a Banana Republic. It is a size small. It came with a matching belt. I wouldn't have bought it if it didn't. And this is just this like satin long sleeve, like belted high waist dress. It did come out fairly recently, and that is kind of what I try to stick with. Is I try to, if I buy a mall brand, it has to be something sold recently, like in the last like 2 years, that's still pretty popular. So I did look up some comps for this, and I'm actually pretty happy, and we'll see how that performs as well. Okay. This one, and you know, that's what I like so much about like going to the bins, is that like you can get a variety. And I'm definitely like a variety seller. So I love a good vintage item. I love a good like mall brand, something that has come out recently that's like a little bit of a sleeper brand because people have probably given up on it or something like that. And I love selling things to my buy sell trade store. And I also love a good luxury item designer every once in a while. So this was giving everything. Honestly, this haul is giving everything that the girls want. So I'm going to talk about this one. This is Jaden T, San Francisco. Not a brand I would try to memorize. It is made in the USA. It's like very faded tag. These buttons I thought were kind of unique, but it's just this corduroy like patch pocket. I guess you could call this like a jumper dress. I know you could also maybe even call this like a tank dress, maybe a pinafore, but I think pinafores are a little bit different. But it is 100% cotton, and I have a feeling because corduroy was so popular in the last couple years, it'll continue to be popular. And it is this beautiful navy color. I felt like it was good quality when I picked it up, and I've had a fair amount of good success with selling older corduroy items, so looking forward to that. And then I bought this. This is just Madewell. It is a newer style. You see the style name on the inside. And this is a linen. I believe it's 100% linen. Is it? Yes, it is 100% linen. It just came out spring of 2024. So like this is a fairly new release. It is a cropped jacket, like a blazer situation. And as soon as I saw it, also because the size is like a large, I was like, gotta get this. Somebody didn't want it, and I know a lot of people have given up on Madewell, to be honest with you, but I've actually had fair amount of success with like the newer Madewell things. So I mean, I'm more than fine with somebody deciding they don't want Madewell, because I will take it all. Not all of it, just the good stuff that they released in the last 2 years. Anyway, so this is a new one for me. I have never found this, and I always was like scared if I did buy it that someone was gonna say it was fake. But this is just a Fear of God Essentials pair of shorts. It's not in the best condition, and the size is actually a small. It does look like there's some wash wear, but then also one of these S's is peeling off a little bit. It's like a little bit lifted, but I have never found Fear of God before, so yeah, kind of happy with that. I did look up the tag and everything to see if it looked like the other Fear of God items that I was purchasing. So yeah, and it did seem like it checked out. So these are actually not going for as much, but I am hopeful that this will sell even with it being that smaller size. And then also, I have this Coco's Closet. Not a brand I would remember if I were you. But I did think that this like very lacy sheer kimono with this short sleeve was actually really cute. It was definitely giving like summer whimsy goth girly to me. This says it was made in the USA and it is a size large. I'm not sure how much this would sell for. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not look up comps for this because I personally just felt like I believed in it. So, yeah, I'm going to see. And there weren't any holes, which is really nice. So, yeah. Next up, I have, this is just a apostrophe pair of pants. And they have this like crisscross in the front, and it's like this sort of like gaucho pants kind of situation. It's a wide leg, and I did look up comps for these. Nothing specific to the brand necessarily, but more so like the style. And I think that like what I've been seeing lately is like sort of how like jorts were really popular, and they're kind of verging into that like style even in the fall. Like I expect it still to continue on, and I'm gonna use all the keywords: whimsy goth, what else, whimsy goth, witchy, that kind of vibe, velvet, that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This one is, it's nothing crazy, but I'll tell you what led me to buying it. But this is a riveted by Lee pair of jeans. They are vintage. I can barely even read this. I want to say it's a 12 petite or something. I don't even know. It's so hard to read this because it's so faded. Like, look at that. Look, it's so faded. Oh my gosh, it's insane. But doesn't matter. Measurements, that's all I care about. It does have some imperfections, like a little bit of a tear there, you can see, but usually that's nothing crazy. But what really did draw my eye to this was this bad boy back here, because I know that that's something that is sought after. And sure enough, when I looked it up online, the comps were actually going for about $28, something like that. But there's another tear right there. But these are not in horrible condition. Like, you know, I would totally wear these. But I care more about the money, so I'm gonna sell it. So yeah, but this is actually really nice, and I love finding a good sleeper brand, like a sleeper item that nobody else wants. I love that so much. It really does. Just like it's that, it gives me that something, the like hidden gems everywhere. It's just everywhere. All right, so this one is Liverpool. These are corduroy. Yes, these are corduroy. These are the Hannah Flare. They're just a size 8. Petite. Petite does scare me sometimes because it's harder to sell. But these are just some black, like, flared leg pants. And I think this is a fairly recent style. I didn't see anything specific. I don't think, though, that... No, it doesn't have like a specific date or anything on here. But these comps were good. It might take a little while for this to sell, just because we are moving out of that like winter season, you know. But I'm okay with that as well. And yeah, I think that's about everything that I bought today. I will say that I do have like a couple of things here because I already washed all of these, so they're kind of like in different spots. But I did thrift this. This is for my buy sell trade. It might be a little bit worn. I've never heard of this brand, but I really did like the embroidery that's like all over it. It was just giving cottagecore. But this is gonna go to my kids' consignment. I do have a bin that I'm getting ready to like take my last bin probably for a kids' consignment. I don't know. I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna continue to try to sell these things. And then this, I bought this baby doll dress from Urban Outfitters, and I'll be honest with you, I really don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It is my size, and I would say it's a fairly recent purchase, probably. But it does look like the button here popped off, and I know if I replace that with anything other than what's supposed to be here, especially because this elastic thing sort of happened or whatever, I know that my buy-sell trade is probably not going to accept it. So I'm still figuring that out, to be honest. And yeah, I'm not sure. This is like up my alley as far as like the color and everything. And I could see myself styling this in a way that was like more in the realm of something I would usually buy and wear for myself, especially the bins. But I really don't know how I feel about that yet, you know. There's a point in life where I feel like I don't want to be one of those like people who dresses like a child, like, you know, or dresses younger than what I really am, because it's just not for me. No judgment. I respect everybody's decision, but I personally just feel like it's not for me. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if my Urban Outfitter days are numbered or if they've already passed. But Anyways, yeah, so that is everything that I thrifted, and I'm looking forward to getting all of this stuff listed. Super excited about it. This was a great Wednesday. I got a lot today, so maybe it's just because the items were so heavy, the 2 blankets that I bought, but I really couldn't say. Either way, I had a great time, and I'm super glad that you guys were here to see everything that I did end up purchasing. And let me know, are there anything in here? Is there anything in here that you thought was maybe like a mistake? Should I have left it? I don't know. I'm here to listen, and if you want to tell me, I will absolutely respond in the comments. And thank you so much. Thank you. Really, really, really thank you to everybody who has watched this. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.